You can roll your eyes and you can be sarcastic all you want. You are committing a crime.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 times Dr. Phil lost it on his guests. Number 10. Did you go to 5th grade? Everyone remembers Danielle Bregoli, aka Cash Meow Side Girl. She went viral thanks to her rebellious behavior, weird phrases, and fake street accent. But Phil wasn't having any of it. After Danielle gives a smart alecky, poor grammar-filled remark about stealing a car, Phil stares in disbelief before asking her if she went to the 5th grade.
Did you go to the 5th grade?
This results in shocked gasps from the audience, who proceed to clap while Danielle marinates in the burn. It's not easy to get the otherwise calm and collected Dr. Phil to insult you in front of hundreds of people, but Danielle managed to find a way.
How about it?
Number 9. You, sir, have a black heart. This is a bit of a dark episode. Pamela claims that her ex-husband Pete ran out on their family to be with a massage therapist he met at a couple's retreat. She also blames him for their 15-year-old son's suicide. Pete in turn says that Pamela wanted their son dead. It all culminates in a fiery and destructive 3-minute speech from Phil. The host absolutely tears into Pete by calling him reckless and destructive before telling him that he has a black heart. Of course, everything is said in that calm Dr. Phil cadence, but you can tell that he is just seething inside.
You, sir, have a black heart.
Number 8. Get a job. In this episode, an aspiring singer, self-named King Keith Franklin VII, believes that becoming famous is more important than a job or an education. As such, the 20-year-old lounges around his mother's house hoping to achieve that goal. Unfortunately, his mother isn't having any of it, and neither is Dr. Phil. The host tears into him by ordering him to pull his own weight and contribute around the house before straight up telling him to get a job.
You don't sit around watching Paris Hilton or Kim Kardashian or Dr. Phil on television and tell yourself that's a life education. Get a job.
Number 7. You don't put words in my mouth. In this episode, Phil sits down with couple Paul in Alaska. Alaska has a cuddling business and uses provocative photos to market herself. This has led Paul to worry about her sexual behavior and personal safety. While defending herself, Alaska states that Phil has been insinuating various insulting ideas throughout the interview. In her mind, she thinks Phil believes that she sleeps with the men she meets. Of course, this sets Phil right off.
Look at me. You don't put words in my mouth.
He tells Alaska that she shouldn't put words in his mouth before looking her dead in the eyes and stating that he isn't afraid of her. That one woman's "oh damn" expression pretty much sums it up. Number 6. You are committing a crime. Phil has a short leash when it comes to the mistreatment of children. That is on full display in this dramatic episode that culminates in Phil accusing Kaylee of a crime. Kaylee is a dominatrix who gives her 14-year-old daughter alcohol and marijuana and allows her teen to have sex. Phil begins Kaylee's roast rather politely, saying that teenagers cannot give consent under the law and that adults need to monitor their behavior.
You can roll your eyes and you can be sarcastic all you want. You are committing a crime.
Phil is less mad and more dumbfounded over the whole situation, and that makes his reaction all the more entertaining. Number 5. Let me please have an intelligent conversation. Many of the previous entries showed a frustrated Dr. Phil. Here, he is positively irate, and it is oh so satisfying. First, he shows frustration with an interjection saying, "Let me please have an intelligent conversation." And when the guest ignores Phil and begins bickering, he simply sits back and folds his arms, like an ignored and irritated parent.
Y'all don't need me for this. You can do this in the parking lot.
But before the woman can finish, Phil interrupts and goes off about his guest's children, which culminates in him telling her to shut up.
My dad used to tell me never pass up a good chance to shut up.
Number 4. Kicking off Bumfights producer. For those who are unaware, Bumfights was a film that saw homeless people performing amateur stunts for small amounts of money or alcohol. A man who bought the film rights, known as the alias Ty Beeson, appeared on Dr. Phil hilariously dressed as Dr. Phil.
I don't want to talk to you.
Why not?
That's despicable. I don't want to talk to you. You can go.
Phil stated that he didn't want to talk to Ty and promptly had him escorted off the stage by security.
If you think I exploit people, every time you bring a guest on this show, you exploit them and spread whatever problems they have to the whole world. You think that's helping them?
Yeah, keep telling yourself that. You can go.
Number 3. Sexy Vegan. Sexy Vegan has earned his place in the Dr. Phil Hall of Fame thanks to his eccentric physical appearance and reckless antics. And in this particular episode, his antics are on full display. He sings a little theme song, brags about his sexiness, and moonwalks down the aisle before calling his mother an ugly piece of effing shit. Suffice it to say, that was the last straw for Phil.
I don't have to do
Okay, take him out.
He forcefully tells Sexy Vegan to stop and actually gives him a chance to listen before kicking him out and apologizing to his audience.
Don't let the door hit you in the ass.
Number 2, are you kidding me? In this episode, Phil shows a troubling clip of 3 adults bickering at a Little League baseball practice. The adults can be heard calling each other crazy and insulting each other's hair colors and outfits. One even says that the other should be punched in the face. Phil in turn brings up the out-of-frame children and literally shakes with anger when screaming,
Are you kidding me?
After some much-deserved roasting, it all ends with a very exasperated Phil leaning back in his chair and saying,
Come on.
If it wasn't clear already, Phil really hates it when children are involved in adult immaturity and stupidity. Number 1, kicking out an internet stalker. This is a legendary episode of Dr. Phil, and it comes with one of the best Phil reactions of all time. The guest is Bailey, a young adult who liked a stranger's tweet and promptly fell in love. Bailey sent the woman thousands of messages declaring her love, even though they had never even met. After Bailey plays a victim, Phil quickly shuts the entire interview down, saying that he's not interested in the melodrama and manipulation. Now think about that. Phil was so incensed at Bailey's behavior that he refused to listen or help, despite claims of wanting to do so, and just kicked her off instead. Sure, he never raised his voice, but actions speak a heck of a lot louder than words.
You're very manipulative.